Introduce you all. This is a Indian Medical Association center in this city. This is an association which constitutes of MBBS and postgraduates in this city. We have got about 200 members, and here I am very, very happy to announce that we have got an opportunity to welcome Her Holiness Mataji Nirmala Devi ji, who will be speaking to us whatever knowledge I have got about her Sahaj Yoga. I feel that she should speak to us more on the aspect of Sahaj Yoga in treating the diseases. I learned that so many doctors are also accompanying her. They are all inclined to the methods that she applies for the treatment of the diseases, and these devotees which we see here are influenced by her knowledge and application of Sahaj Yoga in treating the diseases. It will not be very good on my part to tell much about this, because really I do not know. We have gathered here actually to understand what is Sahaj Yoga. With this, I welcome Her Holiness Mataji. I also welcome the devotees who have come from abroad, the Sahaj Yoga Kendra of Solapur. I also welcome the members of our association. Before I take any more time, I request Dr. Baba Thakkar, Dr. Thakkar, to introduce her. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have great honor in introducing Her Holiness Srimati Nirmala Devi. Her Holiness Mataji was born on 21st March 1923 at Chitravara, a small hill station near Nagpur in the heart of India. Today, she is the wife of UN diplomat with 2 daughters, 4 grandchildren. Though born in Christian family, she has embraced the truth of all religions in her universal teaching. On 5th May 1970, Mataji stamped the Sahasrara Chakra of the Virata open. The Virata is the universal being, a God's manifested aspects in the whose image we are made. Each chakra's opening in a spiritual instrument heralds a new stage in our evolution, as it creates the same potential in our own. The last chakra to open before this time was Agnya, which opened with the Christ resurgence. With the opening of the Sahasrara, Her Holiness Mataji knew that it was the time for man to raise into his distinct station into the glory of God's kingdom. In spite of her undoubted power and profound depth of spiritual knowledge, Mataji remains a woman of extraordinary humanity, a fount of wisdom and common sense, a constant source of laughter and delight, a personality of many facets, as brilliant crystals. She is at the core, once with the spirit of her teaching, the pure light of love that glows in the heart of the crystal. Many thousands of disciples now practices a technique of Sahaja Yoga, meaning inborn technique by which their lives has been transformed, individually and collectively fulfilled, and have become a dynamic, compensate, wise through the implementation of vibrations awareness in their daily lives. They are ordinary householders and citizens, and their model and teachers in Divine Mother, Her Holiness Mataji, an extremely loving, simple, intelligent, frank, and genuine personality. I proudly present this august gathering, Her Holiness Mataji Nirmala Devi Ji. I request President IMA Dr. Raj Harpoon to garland Her Holiness Mataji. Now I request Dr. Wisdom to speak or give outlines which I have forgotten to give in my introduction.
Sri Mataji, my medical colleagues, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Rustam Marjovi, and recently I was a consultant to you. You have heard Dr. Thakur give a brief introduction to Her Holiness Sri Mataji. Sri Mataji is a quite unique personality in that she has been the first person that I have met who has been able to integrate all the facets of human knowledge and transpersonal knowledge into a whole, which is comprehensible. Now, as doctors, you know, we study science. And in studying science, we attempt to understand what the human body is made of, how it works, and things of this sort. And to some extent, we have been successful. We know what chemical reactions take place. We know what pathological changes take place. We know what changes take place in various situations. We know how to rectify them chemically to some extent. But that is about the limits of our knowledge. We do not know why the body is formed in this way. We do not know why it has the shape it has. We do not know why the organs are placed where they are placed. And in our attempts to heal, at most we can try and reduce an imbalance by adding something else. But after a time it becomes like a balance which goes out of control. You add to one side and the other side goes out, and you add another, and then before you know where you are, you're completely lost. I did my medical training at Oxford, where I was husband to Professor Beeson, whom you may know as the editor of the Cecil textbook of medicine. And he used to take me around his wards and show me that 60% of the patients there had their illnesses caused by treatment of other doctors, our colleagues. And this is a very good example of the sort of situation that we have. Now, why is this? The reason is that we do not really know. We think we know because we have spent a lot of time trying to find out. As you know, around about the 17th century in Europe, there's a big change. People thought that you could find out things by scientific experiment. And the whole of modern science is based upon this theory, this dogma, that by a scientific experiment you can find out anything. But, you see, it was known a long time back in our country that a much better way to find out something was by introspective meditation. And the thing about this is that there is a transcendent reality in human nature. That what we see in this world today did not just appear spontaneously, but rather that it is a worked out design which has been worked out by one integrated force. Now, by merely going into meditation and becoming one with that force, see, you can, in fact, find out all there is to know about it. Now, Sri Mataji is an expert. In fact, I'd say more than an expert in it. What she knows and what she can teach about this force that permeates, controls, and has created the universe, no one living in this world can, no one else living in this world can teach. Sri Mataji was born with all her powers intact. She had no guru, and there was none to give her realization, for she was born as it were fully formed in these matters. She came to raise the level of human awareness, the point where it can go beyond this avidya in which most human beings find themselves, to that knowledge of reality which is integrated with the whole. Now, when she was born, Sri Mataji had to find a way of transmitting her knowledge into the language of ordinary scientists and medical men. So, having been born into a very distinguished family, her father was a member of our Constituent Assembly, Sri Mataji went on to study medicine, first at Lahore and then at the Christian Medical College in Ludhiana, where my own mother was once a professor. So, it was a nice time. She did very brilliantly there and topped the lists, but gave up her career to marry Mr. C.P. Srivastava, who was then the youngest and perhaps the last of the batch of the Indian Civil Service officers to be taken in. Subsequently to this, Sri Mataji devoted the first half of her life to be a housewife, growing up in what may be very ideal circumstances of family. And then in 1970, after the opening of the Sahasrara, she began to work to raise the awareness of human beings. Now, you see, modern science is based upon the dogma that you can learn by experimentation. If we examine science carefully, we will find that in fact it has become very sterile and it has become cut off from most other aspects of human nature. It has become very dry. And the treatment that is derived from science, medical treatment that is scientifically based, has become correspondingly dry. If you look at the way things have gone, we spend more and more money nowadays in the West treating less and less. The cost of treatment is enormous, the equipment involved is enormous, and I'm not sure that the results are any better. Because, you see, there is a thing called the human spirit, and however much you may hit it on the head, you cannot force it to live, and there is no further need for it to do so. Similarly, there is behind the gross system of the body, there is a subtle system. This subtle body, the Sukshma Sharir, is what controls the gross body. So, without having any knowledge or control over the subtle body, we cannot really have any long-term effect on the gross body. We can cut things out, we can inject things. We can't really have any permanent change. Now, the reason for this is that it's a bit like trying to drive a car by merely turning the wheel without starting the engine. Now, Sri Mataji is an expert on this. And what she has to teach transcends anything that any one of us can learn in a medical school. Naturally, what she teaches will be very different to what you are used to. You will not have had that much experience of it. But what I would request you to do is to come with open minds as scientists and to test out the hypothesis. That was my approach to her in the beginning. When I first met her, she never demanded of me that I should believe anything, but rather asked me if I would care to experiment on a few patients here and there. And I did. I had no expectation that anything special would work out, but I tried it just to see what would happen because I had an open mind. And I found that lots of things did happen. The most dramatic case I remember was a lady, the wife of a very distinguished doctor herself, who had disseminated carcinoma of the ovary with ascites and pleural effusion. And really the doctors had given her up. She was being treated at Westminster Hospital in England. And she was the old friend of Sri Mataji, so she asked Sri Mataji to help. This was the first really major case that I treated. And I remember that the first time we treated her, there was an immense giving out of heat. So much heat was given out, and although it was winter in London, all the doors and windows were open. And this went on for 2 or 3 days, this heat. And then, slowly but surely, this lady's carcinoma began to regress. Until by about 6 weeks after we began to treat her, from the Sahaja point of view, she was pronounced clinically cured by her physicians at the hospital, which was quite remarkable. Now, you see, I don't want to give you the impression that this is magic, because you don't just wave your hand and the patient gets better. You have to work over a period of time, and it has to be maintained even after the cure. But it has the potential to transform the existence of a human being in a way that none of our medicine can do. Now, with it, you see, there are other things. The essence of Sri Mataji's treatment is to give one one's evolution in spiritual terms, mental terms, and emotions, and to integrate. So the whole force of a medical treatment is the integration and the evolution of mankind. And with it goes the curing of diseases. Now, this is something very great. Because it had not yet been possible before, right, in this world, that any single human being has been able to integrate or transform the lives of other individuals. The avatars, to some extent, have been able to do it. But she has brought this to a much greater extent. Now, within all human beings, as you know, there is a desire to see reality. We go to university because we wish to learn, we wish to have knowledge. We study medicine partly to have knowledge, partly out of compassion in the hope that we may be of service. But these are emotions that all of us have. This is the reason most of us went to study. Now, and in the process of trying to find reality, of seeking truth, many people go through many stages of development. And some of these are misleading. So we get conditioned into ways of thinking which may be not very helpful to us. Another aspect of education is that we develop our egos, or our vanity to a great degree. An educated man always thinks highly of himself, even though he may not admit it. So these are things that can block the perception of reality. There's not a great deal more I wish to say before asking my colleague Dr. Reeves to introduce Sri Mataji and hearing Sri Mataji herself. Except to say that I speak to you as a colleague of yours, one who has been educated in some of the best hospitals and universities in the West. I think I have experienced most of what there is to experience there. I was taught at Cambridge by people who had won Nobel Prizes. I got a first class there. I then went to the various postgraduate teaching hospitals in London, like the National Heart, the National Hospital of Medicine. And I think I know most of what the West has to teach. But I tell you that it compares not at all with what Sri Mataji has to teach. And when I found her, I found that she culminated everything that I've been taught and went so far beyond that my only desire was that others of my profession and background should have this knowledge. The treatment of patients is laborious, it takes time. Even with Sahaja Yoga, it can take time. And it requires lots of hands. At present, there are very few. So I can only entreat you most earnestly that you should take this up on yourselves. That you should learn the technique, get your sensitivity, get your realization, and work it out for yourselves. Find out for yourself how it works. And you can really verify it for yourself and go ahead and show the world. Because this is really quite revolutionary. The main transformation that you will find, if and when you get your realization, is that you will feel sensations in the hands, of coolness, of burning, of tingling, and the positioning of these sensations will correspond to various organs which are affected. Now, this takes place because at the moment of realization, when the Kundalini, Shakti, ascends through the spine and awakens the centers within it, that the autonomic nervous system becomes integrated with the central, or with the conscious nervous system, I think is the word. So we become consciously aware of perceptions that are carried in the autonomic sensory system. And that is the big transformation. The instruments you use are your hands. You don't need anything more. Right? You can diagnose the illness with your hands. So as Sri Mataji explained to you, each finger corresponds to a center. And you will be able to treat people by using your hands. There's not much more I want to say. So I'll ask my colleague, Dr. Reeves, to please carry my introduction further.
Sri Mataji, members of the Indian Medical Association, brothers and sisters in Sahaja Yoga, it's a very great honor to introduce Her Holiness Mataji Nirmala Devi. I have known her for about 2.5 years, perhaps 3 years now. And at the time when I met her, I was still in practice in Australia, a very large practice of patients with musculoskeletal problems, basically, and problems relating to the spine and the peripheral joints of the body. But I found that my practice was essentially becoming one where, like me, there were many, many seekers. Many, many people who were seeking something beyond, seeking something which was not being satisfied by the daily routine of our orthodox practice. I felt that we were in the realm of effects rather than in the realm of causes. So many people would come and say, yes, you can fix me, but why do I get sick again? Many of them would get better, but still they would say, even though physically they had been cured, they felt that there was something beyond this state of existence which we call physical health. So, in a way, I shared so much with them. And I too began to look beyond what I had already achieved. Because I had achieved quite a bit. I took to the practice of my profession late in life, as it were. I was at the age of 40 when I finally graduated. I had been in the field of diplomacy for some 12 years of my life, where I saw, in a way which gave me a certain insight into human nature, I saw a tremendous amount of interchange of people at a very superficial level. I saw how politics works or doesn't work. I saw how international meetings of politicians and trade negotiators and people in this field would achieve certain results which had nothing to do with their own inner satisfaction and which gave them very, very little joy. So I came from this field in which artificiality pervaded, in which really they hadn't got to the essence of life. And having gone to medical school for 6 years, I came out hoping, as Dr. Rustam Bajorji hoped, to find fulfillment through the compassionate attitude towards patients, through the quest of medical science, and through all of these idealistic, altruistic attitudes towards our patients. And yet, if I know Indians well, and I hope I know them a little better than I knew before, I'm sure that their compassion for humanity is well in advance of ours in the West. And I feel very sincerely in my heart that so many of you will share my frustration and Dr. Rustam's frustration in the practices we were conducting. So we have to give our patients something more. Perhaps this might be a way to look at it. And what we have before us in the person of Mataji Nirmala Devi is that she gets to the core of the matter. We're dealing in the realm of causes. We are dealing with the essence that is evolution. And as he said, we have reached that stage in our evolution where we have to make a jump. We have to make a leap forward from being a human being into that of a spiritual being. And this is where we doctors have got a very close relationship with that particular event in our evolutionary history. We are watching, we are diagnosing, we are treating patients who have reached a stage where they are A, recognizing that disease is proliferating, that psychological disease is manifest everywhere, the hospitals are overflowing in these fields, and how to come to terms with it. It's a practical problem. And we don't really have the answers. We have palliatives, we have some successes. Modern medicine, of course, has tremendous contribution to longevity and related subjects about which we can all speak in a very erudite fashion. But that's not the point. The point is that the mass of humanity is seeking something beyond. Most of us, if we are honest to ourselves, recognize that disease is in fact a disturbance within our subtle body. It's a disturbance in that subtlety that lies within us, which governs and controls and which manifests as finally, good health or bad health. So what we have to do is get to the cause. What we have to do is get to the essence that is there. And this is where Mataji, whoever she may be, let's keep our mind open for the time being, is able to give us an experience, but more than that, she is able to put you in touch with that which you've been seeking, probably for all your life. In fact, whatever we've achieved in our evolution, after self-realization, can be perceived in our central nervous system. This is the part which has to filter down into our awareness, and we have to become convinced of this point. Everything that we have achieved in our evolution, we find after self-realization, can be discernibly, consciously perceived in your central nervous system. I won't go into or elaborate on what Mother is going to speak about. She'll refer to how the parasympathetic nervous system becomes the dominant influence after self-realization, how the chakras become enlightened centers of awareness, how those very centers are the centers which control various systems in our body, not only the musculoskeletal, but the endocrine system, and a whole range of other systems within this human frame. So we've reached the point where we have to be triggered into a state of awareness where we can integrate, and become one with the whole. So many doctors say it's the autonomic nervous system. They can say how something works. They can explain why a disease takes place in a way, but they cannot get to the point where they can explain why it is that this human frame, this human psyche breaks down, collapses, malfunctions. And this is where Hatha Yoga has an answer. So Hatha Yoga makes you your own doctor, in a sense. Now don't feel threatened, there will be plenty more patients. But you become your own guru, you become your own patient, you become your own doctor. As Muhammad Sahib said, your hands will speak, and as Dr. Ruskin said, in your nervous system you can begin to perceive on a monitor system in your fingertips which of your chakras is in trouble. You can work it out. You can direct the energy into that chakra, and you can purify that chakra, and that in turn will purify the particular disease process or the psychological disorder which lies latent or manifest in the physical body. It sounds too good to be true. This is what it is. When Kundalini manifests, when the Sahasrara chakra is reached by the Kundalini, and the connection is made, when that takes place, you become connected to the all-pervading power of God. The energy of God begins to flow, the Brahma Shakti begins to work, and from that point onwards, you are master of everything which is within this frame we call the human body and the human psyche. So, in listening to Mother, be attentive, and I urge you, when your questions come, don't be like we are in the West and attack her as medical officers, as medical practitioners. Don't push your favorite theory about how healing takes place. Listen, because what we are talking about here is the core. It is the realm of causes, of how and why these diseases take place. Listen to what she has to say. Be open-minded to that extent. Get the experience for yourself, and then see if in your own practice it works. Because I can assure you that your practice will become a dynamic place. You will find so many people seeking will be fulfilled. You will find that your service to humanity will be the greater, and you'll find that your love of God will be fulfilled. Jai Mata.
the organizers and the members of the Medical Association in Solapur. It's such a pleasure. Because you have also heard that I did some medicine just to talk to doctors about it. Because in the realm of the divine, there are no names given to any plexuses. It's difficult to talk to doctors unless and until you know their language. Now, the main thing we have to understand about Sahaja Yoga is this, that when we are trying to analyze or find out through scientific methods anything, we can only do it when that part is available to us, apparent to us, that we can see it, we can feel it, we can analyze it. Like a tree, we see the tree on top of the Mother Earth. For us it is easy to see the tree, but supposing we have to go deep down into the roots. So Sahaja Yoga is the knowledge of the roots and not of the tree. Of course, tree is very important because root has no meaning if there is no tree. But tree is more important when it can tell you that there are roots to it. So all our knowledge of science, whatever it is, whatever discoveries we have made, how far we have gone, I mean, we can go very deep into it, I know that. But still, you cannot reach the absolute, because absolute is the point where we have to dissolve. We have one scholar here who is doing his PhD in Brighton, and he has a subject, how to establish an absolute 0 point in temperature. He cannot. Nobody can. It's a fact. You can go up to a point, but you cannot become the absolute through your mental projection, because the mind is a limited thing. You must understand the mind is limited. Like I came by car, I have to leave my car behind to come inside. In the same way, this limited mind cannot take you to something that is unlimited, because absolute has to be unlimited. So to reach the absolute point, what should be done? That's the main problem with all of us. All those who are seekers, whether they are scientists or psychologists or any way, they have one point, if they see correctly, that we have not reached the absolute. That is why we do not understand why are we made human beings from amoeba state. We should ask a simple question to ourselves. Why are we human beings? What was the purpose of this evolution that we were made human beings? So, as we cannot answer this question, it is not answerable. We have to know that we are in a transition state. And this human awareness has to achieve another awareness which is dynamic, which is collective in nature. And many people, I would say like you, who has talked of collectivity, who has talked of collective awareness, that a man, if he evolves, he will become collectively conscious. He could see that, but he did not know how. Even if you say that if you have to go to Solapur, you better take this road and that road. But if you cannot reach Solapur, then you are not in Solapur. So even if you say this is the way it has to be, unless and until somebody does it in a practical way, in actualization, you have to achieve. This is the problem. This is the problem that exists between all the people who are seeking, between all the enterprises, between all the movement we have. There is no quarrel between God and science. One thing one should remember, science has come from God. It has not come from you. For example, now if you say there is gravity, now you have not put gravity in the Mother Earth, did you? We cannot transform one flower into food. Not one flower into food. Can you imagine? So there is some living power which is doing this living job. Now think an Indian has a child, he is an Indian. He is sorting out his diet. You know that any foreign matter that goes into the body is thrown away, has to be thrown away. But when the fetus is conceived, then it is kept, nourished, properly looked after, and is thrown out at the right time. Who does that job? We must think. There are so many things, for example, acetylcholine and adrenaline, these two chemicals. Of course, doctors, I must say, or scientists are honest. So they say their mode of action in human body they cannot explain. They just openly say they cannot, because it may augment or it may not. But Sir Yoga can explain why it happened, why this has to happen. Now the jumping from this knowledge of the mind into the knowledge of the eternal is a difficult task to accept. Because as Dr. Barjorji has told you that when we get education, we think we know quite well. Not that you do not know, not that this knowledge is not there. It's very important. If you are a doctor, you will be a great surgeon, no doubt. But something is not known to you which is much greater than what is known to you. So this human awareness, this Chaitana that is within you today, has to rise to that level, or you have to become that subtle that you can enter into your roots. Alright? So on this point we start moving further, that you are paying attention to me. But if I say pay attention to yourself, you can. How will you? You cannot. You cannot see yourself, you cannot see your organs, you cannot see your body, you cannot see anything, you cannot see your mind. You cannot feel it. So, what should happen? Say something falls down. Immediately our attention goes there. Some happening has to take place within ourselves. And that happening is nothing but Kundalini awakening. Now this Kundalini is a force which is lying in the triangular bone, which is called as sacrum. I have been speaking and speaking hours and hours together. Now this triangular bone is called as sacrum. Sacrum means sacrum. In Greek language, sacrum means sacrum. And when I went to Greece, I asked them why to call it sacrum. So they told me that they had a report with Indians much before Alexander came here. And the Indians told them that there is a power in this triangular. Can you imagine? We have forgotten it, we have lost it, because we have studied only the British or whatever is English, or you can call it a Western medical science. But in our science, you will be surprised, 14,000 years back, Markandeya has talked about it. We Indians are best suited for this to understand. Now many people say that Maharashtra has got 3.5 pitas. Many people must have heard. There are 3.5 pitas, one of them is Mahalakshmi, then another is Tulajapur Bhavani, then third one is Mahu, and the half one is the Chaturshri. Now to sound these things to a doctor is something so funny and stupid. I mean, I can understand, as doctor. But it is not, believe me. These are the 3.5 coils of the Kundalini of the whole universe placed in your Maharashtra. They are the source of that power within your own country, this great Maharashtra. Now, people may not believe, but how will you know? Now somebody says this is a Jagrut star. doctors, oh I know, doctors will have a Ganesha, they'll say Namaste to Ganesha. I mean, Indian doctors all will have Ganesha, they'll go to Mandir also say Namaste, that's what they do. But they do not know that Ganesha is placed within us. And he controls our prostate. And he controls all our pelvic plexuses. We do not know this. But he resides there. So to jump from that to this is rather difficult for a medical man. I understand. I had all students, you see, with me who were studying with me. I could see, I never talked to them about Kundalini or anything. I just wanted to be like them, to understand how their brains are working. For them, this is knowledge, this is everything, nothing beyond. And anybody who talks about it, they turn face. Now, I do not want you to come to any conclusion by saying that, of course, Dhaneshwara has talked about it, so he cannot be wrong or this and that. Not at all. But scientifically, we have to understand that we have not got answers to many questions. That means there is no sufficient light in our knowledge. If you are coming in this room in darkness, you might find a mic, you might find a table, you might find something. This becomes the truth because the eyes are not yet open or the light is not there. But supposing by any chance somebody can open the light, you can see all the things, isn't it? That's what Dr. Barjori is talking about, the integration part. Now this light is nothing but your auto, which you talk of, autonomous nervous system. You just give the names, auto. Now who is auto? We accept it. When we get the names, we just accept the name, we never ask why it is called auto. Because it is Swayam Vichar. Who is the Swayam? Who is the Swa? Is the Spirit. In a way we have accepted. Because we have to fix somebody as auto, otherwise we don't know what to do. I mean, we see parasympathetic working, sympathetic working. So we have to fix up somebody as the person behind it. But that auto is the spirit, is the Atma, we do not want to accept. Alright, we'll call it auto if you don't like it. For the scientists. If they don't like, we'll call it auto only. So this Mr. Auto is the Atma according to Sahaj. We call it Atma, you call it auto. That's the only difference of names. Now this auto exists. But this auto is not in our central nervous system. That is true. Because we cannot control our parasympathetic. We may be able to excite our sympathetic but not parasympathetic. That's a fact. Sympathetic, if we excite it, we can work out. But parasympathetic we cannot work out. It works automatically. So somehow or other, if you can bring that auto in your attention or in your central nervous system, then you can manage the show better. Scientifically. I'm just going scientific. Alright? Now, how to bring this auto in your attention? How to control this auto is the problem. You cannot do it through science. You cannot do it through medical science. Through any science you cannot. Because this will only happen when you evolve to another state. And science cannot bring in evolution. Can it? It cannot give you wisdom and it cannot give you evolution. Evolution it cannot be. Why? It cannot even create life, I would say. Basically. So this auto, to be in your central nervous system, we should look inside ourselves. There could be some arrangement. And for that, the knowledge is in your great country, already there. You are the one who have inherited that, Varsai. This is what you have inherited. It is your inheritance which is lost. But one must know when the tree grows too high, it must have roots. And that is how, whatever they are saying about me, I am the taproot, I should say. Who has done this seeking inside perhaps, or I have reached that source. And that's how I know what is the truth. In our country, many saints have tried to go through that path and have found out. They have tried to express it in many ways, but they kept it a secret till the 6th century when Adi Shankaracharya came and he talked about it very clearly. He talked about Kundalini, he talked about all the chakras, he talked about everything. But who reads Adi Shankaracharya? At least the medical man does. I mean, I don't read them because they are so busy. And after that it was all exposed, then Kabira clearly, absolutely clearly is talked about. So Sahaja Yoga is not a new system. It is another, it's old. Only thing what has happened to Sahaja Yoga today, that it has become a Mahayoga. That there are many thousands can get realization. That was not possible and feasible. This is the only thing that has happened, that today the blossom time has come and many flowers can become fruit. And that's how even an ordinary person gets realization. A poor man can get realization. A doctor can get realization. Anybody can get realization. And the sooner you get, the better. So now first thing what will happen to you? Supposing you get the light within yourself and you can see within yourself. Say you have an X-ray to see yourself within yourself. So first thing that should happen to you is that you should know about yourself, what's the problem with you. You'll be amazed, people end up in lunatic asylums and till they are absolutely gone cases, people do not know that they are mad. Same about cancer. I would say cancer can be detected much earlier than doctors can detect it. Very simple it is. Any disease connected with liver is another thing. I would say even liver problems are not detected till a patient gets a cirrhosis or some sort of a disease which is absolutely fatal and you declare, all right, now you're going to coma, finished. These can be detected through Sahaja Yoga very well because once you are enlightened, your fingers, these 5 fingers, 6 and 7, they start denoting the status. And on these fingers you can know. Now according to Sahaja Yoga, left side sympathetic, deals with your emotional side and the right side deals with physical and your mental side. Clear? So now you see a person who is very busy, who is a doctor, say for example. He is a very busy man and he has no time at all. He is always looking at his watch naturally. So what happens to him? He becomes a right-sided person. Because he's using his physical being and also his mental being, but the emotional becomes little dried out. So emotionally he is not so good. Emotionally he goes down. As a result, you won't believe, as a result of this imbalance, what diseases one can get to begin with. According to Sahaja Yoga, this is another principle. According to Sahaja Yoga, because I will not say that medical people will agree to it or they have found it. They might find out later on. But just now they have not found so far. Because I did medicine, you are all younger to me in age. So I did my medicine when you might have been just young boys. So maybe my terminology may be a little different, but doesn't matter. So according to Sahaja Yoga, the brain is made of fat cells. That is according to medical science. Now these fat cells, when they are used too much, then they are replaced by the fat of the stomach, and the conversion for the use of the brain of these special cells is created by a center we call it Swadhisthana Chakra, which actually on the physical level you can say is the aortic plexus. On the physical, in the Sukshma Swadhisthana. So one of the jobs of this Swadhisthana Chakra is to convert these cells for the use of the brain. And the other job is to look after your liver, look after your pancreas, look after your spleen and your kidneys, and in ladies, uterus part. So when you think too much or plan too much and you are futuristic, most of the time this poor one, Swadhisthana Chakra, is busy coping with that thinking process and replacing the brain cells. Alright? So it neglects all these organs which are very vital and important to us. So the first trouble one may get by thinking too much is diabetes. Now if you ask a doctor, he'll say don't eat sugar, but this is no of the disease. But you see, villagers eat at least 5 spoons in 1 cup of tea. At least 5. They never get diabetes. It's only the people who think and plan too much for the future get it. First is diabetes. Another is very dangerous, is leukemia. Leukemia also one gets from the same type of lifestyle. We live. Because you know, at emergencies, the spleen has to produce new RBCs. That is accepted. Now a person who is getting up in the morning, see, rushing up, it's very interesting how it is. Just think of it, everybody does that. We never see ourselves how we behave. And he goes to the bathroom and comes out, you see, with his pant just being tied up, and the wife is there to give him the breakfast. On one side he's eating the breakfast. Then he's reading the newspaper, getting another shocks after shocks from the newspaper. Then he gets into the car, and in the car there's a jam and he doesn't know how to drive and all that. He's a sure patient for leukemia. Because poor, this spleen has to produce new blood corpuscles all the time. And it becomes hectic. Now you may question me that why children get it, because the parents must be like. You see, the parents also can make the children hectic. Get up in the morning, go to the school, what are you doing, this, that, all the time if you are after a child with a stick in your hand, the child is doing. A mother who's too clever at home and very particular about her kitchen and the cleanliness of the whole thing, and she can get after her child. And such a thing completely upsets that poor spleen. And the production of RBCs lose their sense of proportion. Of course, there is a triggering. And the triggering takes place, as the doctors call it, I mean recently I saw that they call it by proteins 52 and proteins 58. And they call it, these are attacks. I mean, this recently I saw in England, research, cancer research people had given this explanation. And they said it comes from the areas built within us from our creation. And we call it collective subconscious. In Sahaja Yoga, we call it collective subconscious. Beyond our conscious mind, there is subconscious mind. And beyond the subconscious mind is the collective subconscious mind on the left hand side. Now, according to them, these are protein 52, 58, whatever you may call it. But we call it a Bhuta Badha, simple word. Or you may call it a Kali Vidya, whatever it is. But it is nothing but attack of a dead soul on a person. Absolutely, it exists. And that is how it triggers. Now, virus infection is also the attack of the vegetables, we can say, or of the vegetations which have gone out of the circulation of your evolution. That's virus infection. I mean, if you know the source from where it is coming, you can stop it, isn't it? Now, doctors can't believe a bhoot, but once they are caught up with a bhoot, they know. Like I met a doctor who was in charge of a hospital and his son was possessed. So he came to me, he said, "Mother, please somehow or other save my son, I don't know what to do." And I cured him. He said, "How did you cure?" I said, "It's simple, he was possessed." And he was possessed by something, and that's been removed, this all. But to tell a doctor, I mean, you are in for trouble. But it's a fact, believe me, it's a fact. The triggering they have said about 52 and 58, I mean, you call it anything like auto, you call to Atma, you call it auto. Alright, so what can we do about it? Or if you call it to a Bhuta Badha as protein 52 and 58, what should we do? I mean, you have more sophisticated names perhaps, but it's simple like that. So once a person has that kind of a wobbly spleen, he's a good case. He's a good case for you came here. Now let's come to the best part of it, what one can get ultimately. That when your attention is so much outside, then your spirit in the heart gets upset and you get a heart attack. All heart attacks are due to this kind of thing. There are two types of hearts. Heart diseases, according to Sahaja Yoga. It's very simple. One is a lethargic heart and one is an overactive heart. The overactive heart gets a heart attack when whether you are thin or fat makes no difference. The lethargic heart may be from the fat. But the active heart, the one who is extremely active all the time thinking of the future and all that, is in for a heart attack. Just so simple as that. So now you have to just give a balance to a person. Who is the right-sided, you give him a balance. Make left and right all right. He's cured. When you know the tattva, the principle, how you get diseases, then can you not cure it if you know how to cure the tattva? Sahaja Yoga is like that. Sahaja Yoga knows the principle, what goes wrong. And principles are few, like the colors are very few, isn't it? The mixtures are there, permutations, combinations. But if you know the principle, you just put the principle right and the person is on. Like the gentleman who has sent you this way himself. He was going to Houston for a bypass, and I was speaking in a Rotary Club. And in Delhi, there were about 2,000 people. Suddenly he shot up. Came to me, he said, Mother, I have to go to Houston. I said, but I am flying out to Bombay to go to Pune. I have to go to Pune. He said, I live in Pune. I said, all right, I'll meet you. He came to see me. I think twice I gave him vibrations. Then he went back to Bombay. And all the doctors said, oh, what happened? These were not your, perhaps these were not your x-rays or what. It's completely cured, 100%. And now all his bypass and all that is over. And for this, what are you going to pay? This is just flowing. I mean, you are not also obliging it. That's the worst part of it, that people think I am obliging. No. See, if you are part and parcel of it, say for example, now my finger is something wrong, I just rub it and it's all right. Then am I obliging my finger? I mean, if you are part and parcel of me, how can I oblige? That's what they were saying, that you have to become the part and parcel of the whole. You just become part and parcel of the whole, the arbitrary behavior becomes malignant. Arbitrary behavior of a cell becomes malignant. Because the centers, now I'll tell you about cancer also on the same simple way. See, it's a simple way of explaining cancer, any cancer. Now, we can say that with my hands I might be able to show you that left hand and right hand are two sympathetic nervous systems, and these are the centers in between. You can see them, alright? These are the centers. Now what happens? A person starts doing something extraordinary, something emergency. He creates within himself. It can be with anything. Now he creates an emergency, he uses too much of his sympathetic, supposing he uses the right side too much. Then what happens? This starts wobbling like that, the center. And the center starts wobbling and there's a deity inside this which keeps the relationship with the whole. The deity just sleeps on and the relationship. The relationship with the whole is broken because the medulla oblongata has got, you see, inside though to the physical mind it has not broken. But to the subtle thing it's finished. There's no relationship with the whole. So what happens? The cells here have no messages. So they become on their own. And they start becoming bigger and bigger. They become on their own. You see, they become very ambitious. They start growing bigger and bigger. That's how you get malignancy. Simple thing. Now what do we do for surgery? It's very simple. If you are a realized soul, what you have to do is to just put your hand on the center, at the back. So by giving vibrations, you have awakened the deity and it's again sucked back. You are put together in relationship with the whole. I mean, I must tell you, I cured Mr. Sanjeeva Reddy. You may write to him and ask him. Now, he had come from America, he had gone for an operation. And the operation was a failure. And he was in a horrible mess. He could not sleep and he was in deep pain and they tried all kinds of injections. I mean, you can imagine Sanjeev Reddy as president. I went with my husband to see him because he knew my husband, he knew me also. But our High Commissioner was B.K. Nehru. I don't know why. He told his wife, you know, this is Mataji Nirmala. She had heard my name in Delhi. She said, Mataji, please cure my husband. Otherwise, my husband is not going to say anything. So I just put my hand on his back. For 10 minutes, you won't believe, in 10 minutes. He said, oh God, I'm feeling so relaxed, let me sleep. He slept off and they were thinking, I mean, it was all last thing, you see, so they had prepared everything that they didn't expect him to come alive. And when he walked out, they got a shock of their lives. You see, they had brought ambulance. He said, I don't need any ambulance, nothing. He just walked off, you see. And then he went on for a tour. And then when I went to see him, he showed me his back. He said, even the scratches, that one should see at least a scratch of the operation, even there is not even a scratch, you cannot see. The Kundalini has done. The Kundalini is your mother. She is the one sitting down there, just waiting this thing to happen. Because she is your Shuddha Ichcha. She is the pure desire. But the rest are Vikrutas. They are perverted. The real desire one has is to become one with God. Unless and until that desire is fulfilled, you are not going to be happy. So that desire is sitting down there. She is your mother. Everybody has individual mother. And when this pure desire rises, she integrates all these centers. That's how you get integrated. And then she comes up to here, and you can even feel in many people the labda. You see, anahata. Anahata means without percussion. The sound you hear on the head. You can even see in many people the Kundalini pulsating. Actually, with naked eyes, you can see. Today only, we had somebody who had a Kundalini which was just pulsating at the base. If there is no way of getting out, pulsates, poor thing, you know, it just, some people have such Kundalini that just goes on tossing that, oh God, when am I going to give birth to my child? And then, if you can smooth it out, bring it out, it just comes. And then you feel a cool breeze coming out of your head, which is not possible medically. Is it possible? You feel a cool breeze coming out of your head, you feel a cool breeze blowing into your hands. Then this is the power, which is the all-pervading power, the Brahma Tattva, which you can use, which is all integrated. In Sahaja Yoga language, we call it Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Then you understand what was Muhammad Sahib, what was Zoroaster, what was Christ, who they are, everything we understand. They are all integrated, we are the only people fighting among ourselves. And it works out so beautifully, you can't. I wish all of you get your realization and work it out. I would like to answer your questions. If you have any, please ask. And then let's have it.
Can any accidents can occur in Kundalini? Accidents?
Yeah, no, not in this. You see, now there are people who have written books and books about Kundalini. I was myself shocked, when I read them. It's all absurd. You see, a person who doesn't know how to handle even a scalpel and tries to operate someone, what will happen? That's what it is.
Who is needed for this Kundalini process?
No, Kundalini process, there are no accidents, nothing. Nothing happens like that. I'm just telling you, these are naive people who do not know how to handle it. Alright?
They are saying no guru is needed for all this yoga and this thing.
They say it because they don't know how to do it. Supposing somebody says, oh, you see, medical science is horrible, don't go near it. Because they don't know about it, what can you do? It's like putting your fingers in the plug and saying that electricity is shocking. You must know the thing, first of all. And secondly, such a person has to be a person of character. You see, a man who's taking money from you, God doesn't give blessings to such a man, isn't it? Or he's trying to make money out of you, or he's trying to be, he's a bad charactered man, he's a horrible man, and he has, a papi man, as you can call it. Such a person cannot do it. These are all money-making propositions. And the poor thing, she doesn't do anything, but it is the anger of Sri Ganesha works on the sympathetic. That also you will know what happens.
What is the role of Shraddha and Bhakti in Sahaja Yoga?
Bhakti. Bhakti is very important. I mean, if you believe in God, then God looks after you. But bhakti can be an extreme step also, like you are calling God, God, when the God stands before you, still you are calling God. You see, that is too much, isn't it? Like Tulsidas, he wrote so much about Ramayana and all that. But when Sri Rama came to him, and he also gave him a tilak, and still he could not recognize him. So what's the use of such a blind bhakti? It should not be blind, it should be from heart. Very important. If somebody is a man who has this bhakti from his heart, he gets Sahaja Yoga very fast. But actually now I have seen in Sahaja Yoga has become so powerful that everyone gets relaxation, not difficult. Everyone gets it, not difficult. In the villages, if you see 6,000 people sitting, all will raise hands. But the complicated are rather difficult, I must say. Or if you have some disease, that also you can make on the Kundalini, and also then Kundalini stops. You'll be amazed if there's somebody, say, who comes to me, he has a liver problem, then the Kundalini goes and she goes on hitting on the liver, you see. And even a person who doesn't understand that liver is there, he put his hand there because he sees the Kundalini hitting there. So it just shows where the problem is. Even if you don't understand any medicine, you will know where the problem is, because Kundalini will go and start hitting at that point. And you can see with your naked eyes.
How do you explain the pulsation of the head in Kundalini case? How do you explain the pulsation of the head of the Kundalini?
Sahasrara.
According to anatomy and physiology. Because as we know in
Yes,
head,
I'll tell you. In the brain, you see where the pituitary and pineal body, in the center of that, you can say in the optic chiasma, there's a very subtle center called Agya Chakra, which is very important, which goes on working when you think too much. And the back side is the one which is surrounded by, you see, I would say that the limbic area has got all the 7 chakras. All the 7 chakras the limbic area has. But they are called the pithas. Pithas mean the seats of the chakras. So all these chakras are represented in our brain, alright, in the limbic area. Now out of that, Agya Chakra is genuinely here and the Pitha is also here. The outside, this is the window of that Agya Chakra, which is in the center of pituitary and the pineal, and it controls pituitary and pineal. Alright? Now, at the back side of it, it has only 2 windows. So it is here and here at the back. And surrounding that is Swadhisthana Chakra, the same one I told you about, poor thing which has to work very hard. Now this one, when you get diabetes, what happens? That the Swadhisthana goes out of order, and that's how you get blind. Because Swadhisthana is surrounding this. So all the 7 chakras are in the limbic area. It's very interesting.
How do you get the, you said, how do you get the pulsation?
Pulsation here. Pulsation you said?
Yes.
Because the Kundalini rises. She passes through this, and then you start feeling the pulsation because it is trying to break. When it breaks, then you get that's how you get the pulsation. You can even with the stethoscope hear the pulsation on different chakras to begin with. Then ultimately here you get the pulsation. Then it breaks. You see, the thing, it becomes, this fontanelle bone area becomes soft, just like a child's fontanelle bone. In a person who is bald-headed, you sometimes see the whole thing opening out like that. And then you feel the cool breeze coming out. So should we have realization? Let's try. Worth it, all right? Take out your shoes, that's all. Because the Mother Earth helps us. You see, these are all the 5 elements which have gone upside down. That's all. Just take out your shoes, that's all. It's very simple. Anybody can make it, no problem. According to these Western people, Indians are very easy. They are a very great quality of people. They are dharmic and they are very great according to them. And I must also confess that I have to really break my hands in the West. In India, I must say, they know it very well. They have to break also. Not only they have to do the same. So they are very happy here because giving realization to the Indians is very easy. But giving realization to Western people is very difficult. So they also have suffered, all of them. So they will stand by me. They don't feel bad. They all know that this is the problem. Because they are very complicated, extremely complicated. So many attacks have come to them that they are complicated, thinking is too much like this. Fellow Freud has put wrong ideas into their head, and there's a Bauhaus and all this nonsense. And who was that? What was the unholy trinity you were talking about? Let's see, Brian?
Freud, Nietzsche and Wagner.
Yes, that's it. You see, that's how it is. They have been attacked and they accepted all this. You see, we may be educated in Western education, but we don't forget about God. We still, think about God as a part of us, and Dharma is within us. Yancha Dharma is a big problem. And even Indians, you see, if they take to adharmic life, they still remember this is adharmic. But for them, it has become so difficult to remember that this is adharmic. That's another world. Another world. You see, for them, nothing is dharma. These poor things, they have been attacked so much, and these are all saints born. The surprising part is that they being saints, they were born in such countries where there was affluence, and they are attacked. These are saints, definitely. And those who are seekers there are tremendous seekers. You will be amazed, these people, they have been druggists and alcoholics and all sorts of people. But the day they get realization, next day they give up. Indians don't. Indians are chicken. They don't. I must say. No, Indians don't give up so easily. They do it. They are saints. See, the quality that way is very good. But on the whole, you see, totality, I am saying, in general, it's horrible. But they are saints because the way they give up their things is amazing. Here, you give realization, it's like that. See, they stick on to something. I don't know why. These people just, overnight. They are very determined. That something is there. That goes in their favor and this goes in your favor. My condition is that some people have teeth and some people don't have chanas, and some people don't have chanas and they have teeth. It's like that. This is a funny situation. All right, so let's have it. Now you don't have to be serious about it, nothing, but it is a very serene. It's not serious, but serene. Just put your hands like this, that's all, and close your eyes, that's all. Just put your hands straight like that, straight. Right. And I think better to take out your spectacles, put them. It also helps your eyes very much. Just put your spectacles, you may remove later on. Just, it's so fantastic to continue. It's another world I'm talking about. Just close your eyes, please. मध्ये बोलू नका. Now, one thing you have to do, because people think too much all the time, and the solution the mantra for thinking is that you have to say that, Mother, I forgive everyone. Just that. And your thinking will stop. Close your eyes and just say genuinely, from your heart. You have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Now to say that it is not easy to forgive is also not true. Because when you do not forgive someone, you are not harming another person, you are harming yourself. So it's best is to forgive. So just say, Mother, from your heart, say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Just say it will work out. Say it only twice and your agya will be opened up. Agya is catching. Everybody is agya. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And don't open your eyes, please. Because the Kundalini won't rise about Agya Chakra if your eyes are open. So just say, I forgive everyone. मी स्वतःच फिरून घेते सगळ्यांचा थोडेसेच आहेत मी स्वतःच फिरून घेते सगळ्यांचा अर्थ या डॉक्टर साहेबांना बघा झाले का पार This is cool.